Please join me in welcoming Ernest Montgomery.
I've learned that in America, $11 billion a year are spent on pornographic material. Yet I learned that my parents make mistakes. Yet 63% of college students don't believe this affects them.
However, and you know there's going to be a lesson in here somewhere, being an alumni does have its responsibilities.
May God bless and protect you. May God deal kindly and graciously with you. May God bestow favor upon you and grant you peace both this day and forevermore. Amen. Amen.
Speaks, except to tell you that 4 years of living with an honor code like the one we have here has been an extraordinary asset to the development of and social life is led entirely by the students, and that tradition has continued at this institution for
close to 20%. That means that 1/5. Before I sentence criminal defendants, I read their life histories. But by the time I sentence them, many are probably never going to turn themselves around to be productive members of society. What I am here to urge you to do, the president can preach, the Congress can legislate, the courts can confine, stewardess, or a simultaneous translator at the United Nations, which was about the most glamorous job I could think of. Jews are not in public service. You must be personally involved in solving these problems. The ways in which you can involve you with an analogy that comes to mind from a talk given by Robert Fulham. Thank you.
Yet President Bush emphasized more than stopping the hatred spread by a man like Hussein. He emphasized the need to recognize hatred and war as evils. Peace and harmony, he called for. Friendship and love, honor and trust.
America, let us clean up our rivers and skies And while we're at it, let's clean up our language, private and public and on the airwaves.
Dragged myself in bed this morning, took a... Try that again, sorry.
Oh, remember Willie's with his cheap hot dogs drenched in chili and melted cheese? I could eat 7 of them at once, gagging me, overflowing my taste buds, and I still had room for a Haagen-Dazs yogurt bar and Reese's peanut butter cups, king size 4 of them. I love Williams.
President Payne, ladies and gentlemen, valedictory addresses, like monsoons or freshman days, are predictable seasonal disasters. The historical record shows this definitively, and I have little hope that mine will violate precedent. The past few years have brought us cryptic references to French philosophers, dedications to supernatural boyfriends, and celebrations of misanthropic isolation.
Then I won't be letting loose a soaring nostalgic paean to these 4 years just elapsed. I remember the time Helen, Jim Bob, Eddie, and I were really drunk one weekend and playing around with our assault weapons when we accidentally gunned down an entire family from Ripton. God, we laughed so hard.
According to the polls, people believe that members of Congress are less honest today than they used to be. The typical politician is presumed to be venal, self-seeking, lazy, hypocritical, mendacious, demagogic. Or even worse, the other day, going into the Grand Union in search of a New York Times, I saw a copy of the Weekly World News. 12 U.S. senators are space aliens. I'm willing to believe this of Senator Philip Graham of Texas. But Chris Dodd, Jay Rockefeller?
It was about 4 years ago that St. Michael's selected for admission the members of the class of 1994. You then decided to come. It is obvious that the results show that St. Michael's selected very well. There may have been a few mistakes, but they're not here tonight.
I'd like to start by sharing with you a poem that a good friend of mine gave to me. This poem represents my feelings as our 4 years at St. Michael's comes to a close. Look at us now, we're all grown up, and our futures lie ahead. No longer considered children, we're mature adults instead. But if you want to know the truth, it's been a rough and rocky road. I doubt I could have done it without you to share the load. When everything was going wrong, you comforted me through my tears. You helped me feel confident in myself. You helped me overcome my fears. I thank you because you cared. I'll always remember the things we did and the good times that we shared. As I watch our lives take different paths, I just can't help but cry. I'll never forget you and all you've done. I love you, friend, said I. Like our 4 years here, I'd like to end this speech the way I started it, by reading you this poem. Graduation is not an end, but a challenging new start, a chance to chase the dreams that you hold within your heart, a step into the future toward achievement and success, a wonderful beginning to a life of happiness. Thank you.
I ask you first to remark upon the extraordinary ritual that descends upon us this beautiful day. The robes, the colors, the massing of parents and loved ones, the beautifully attired special and honored guests, the pennants and unfurled insignia, the music, the procession itself with its measured and stately gravity, the faculty august in its settled and grave demeanor, the proud solemnity of the moment. How utterly unlike Wesleyan. For 4 or so years, you've been in attendance at an institution proud of its unpretentiousness, loyal to the traditions of the tattered, the torn, the scruffy, and the unfashionable. For you. Some months ago, I asked you to contribute words that I could use for this speech. You gave me your words. I thank you. I couldn't use all the words you volunteered, but I do admire your vocabularies. The 2 words most frequently nominated were spam and doily. Make of that as you will. The first, I suppose, is a tribute to the university's splendid meal plan. And the second just must be a recognition on your part that formal rituals and all their polite adornments have a place in your lives and ours. This ceremony is one such time. So to you I say, spam. And to you I say, doily.
Of educating for the future, which Bill has led us in these past few years. My friends, you have just witnessed one graceful exit and you're about to witness another.
Honored baccalaureates, President Gregorian, distinguished faculty, persons of holy order, friends and guests, I bring you greetings from Columbia University in the city of New York. Without us, your athletic records would be even more dismal than they are.
Female then, and for the most.
Now it's that time to go over